Welcome everybody to the online classes and in the pastels, and I see a lot of you on the forum have been really practicing and doing very, very well. And if you're going like this, I wonder what it's going to look like at the end of the year. I'm not even talking about 6 months' time, but it looks like everybody's enjoying it. I am as well too. I haven't done so much pastels now for quite some time. Been doing all the watercolors and the oils, etc. So I'm enjoying it just as much as you. So okay, I've got a little, very short little PDF just with a few photographs of the actual house, all in from different areas. So I think let's go over to the PDF now and have a look. Let's see. Well, that's a farmhouse. This one is a close-up, just to show you all the little brickwork that has been done here. It was actually stonework put together. It has taken quite some time. It's almost like it's been like slate, thick pieces of slate, and been up for. It's a very old type barn, this one. And actually, this is taken at Lake Hayes, just on the edge of Lake Hayes, near Queenstown in the South Island. And this little piece here, see there's a little line that goes right across. All that here, and you can see those vertical lines, that's all the reflection of that mountain in the actual lake. So this farm is standing right on the, virtually on the embankment of Lake Hayes. So let's have a look at the next one. Let me just get that up a bit. There we go. Okay, this house, I first got acquainted with it actually up in Auckland, where a very well-known New Zealand artist, Chinese artist Ben Ho, and I went to a workshop with his in watercolors, and this is the house that he brought up when we did the watercolor painting of this one, and I didn't realize it was right next to where he was. And when I went down to Queenstown, and I dropped in and visited him there. And after I left him, I was riding along and I suddenly saw this house, and I thought, whoa, this is the one that we painted. So I stopped and took some photographs of it. So let's have a look at some more. This was taken actually very early in the morning. Let's have a look there. You see the farmhouse at Lake Hayes, Queenstown. What I did here is I changed the exposure in the program, so that by doing that you can actually come and see the details. So it's one of the tricks that if you've got a photo editing program and you've got something that's a little bit dark, you can change the exposure to be able to see any details that are here. And it makes your painting a little bit, or drawing, whatever you're doing, a little bit easier. So let's have a look. Here's another one taken from the road, and we've got a nice little entrance in here. If you paint this one, open the gate and let it just open for a little piece across here like that, because a gate like this tells you you're not really welcome in there. They're stopping you from going in. So if you're doing a painting, you don't want your eye to stop going in. Change this gate and make it either open or just leave the gate out completely and just leave the posts there. And then the eye will go into your painting and be welcomed. Here, the little foothills And there's some of the larger mountains. Just to the left here is all the ski slopes. Let's have a look. This is another one, a close-up of the little farmhouse. I'm not quite sure whether it's being used as a house anymore. You never know. I've got all this junk and stuff piled in the side here. I don't see curtains or anything, so maybe this is just used as a storehouse and used to be used as a homestead. But anyway, you can see there all the nice little details, etc. So if you want to go in a later stage and put some nice detail in, this is here for you to do so. Let's have a look at the next one. This is the painting, or the photo of the painting that we will be doing. I've cropped it so that we have this nice balance of the painting. We got some sky, we got the mountain in the background, we've got the foothills. It's not so easy here to actually indicate that there's a lake, but anyway, it's there. And we have this early morning coming with these lovely shadows going right across, and the sunlight hitting this little edges, etc. Here on the tree, shadow on the roof, and here I've shown a few little rocks. There's actually a drainage thing, and you've got a pipe underneath and it goes across, but we're just going to put just a few little rocks in here just for like a bit of a balance. So then the next one here is in the editing, the photo editing program. I did a bit of a change here just to sort of warm this thing up and give you that bit of a feeling of the early morning warmth coming through, that orangey glow. And you don't have to do it exactly the same as this, but just to show that you can take something that is actually very, very grey, like that, like this one here, which is very little color contrast coming through except the grey and a little bit of the yellowy green. Here we've got quite a few different coming through. You got the nice purples in the mountain. Even here you can see there's you can paint it as if there is like a green mold on the lichen, etc. there on the roofs, and you've got also some nice color shading. And we'll be not doing it exactly the same, but I'm using this one as an example just to warm up the painting or the photograph that we see there. So you have that one as opposed to that one there. So this one makes it a little bit more exciting. So with that, I think let's get going and go through and start our painting, which I'm sure that you're all raring and ready to go. So let's take a sip of water there quickly. Right, let's take the template off, and I hope what you've done is that you've not pressed too hard, because if you press too hard you have those little ridges, dense inside, and you come along with your pastels, it doesn't go into that, you'll get all the lines showing. So this one I've done just soft enough with the pencil rubbing, and so there's no indent in here at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to start from the top to the bottom, the furthest to the nearest, and the furthest away obviously is your sky. We finish that one, and then we do the mountain. So when we come over the sky, you can get a much more of a sharper detail across, and then we go forward as we go along. So, and I'm using the pastels that we used last time, and I'm only going to use today the pastels out of this little box, and just to show that you can use this one still to these lots here to do a tremendous amount of painting, and I've used some of it already. Look, but there's still a lot of paintings can be made from this one here. So let's get started. I'm going to take some very light blue. Here's a light blue across here, this one here, and I'm going to come along and using it flat. Just check there. Last time I had a bit of a bump in it. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to softly just take this across. Bring that across close to there. Bring it across into those corners. Bring it across here. Now, this mountain is, I've got it there, according to the photograph, is right on this little line. I'm going to change that because this line and that line here is too much. Your eye will follow it, and the mountain and the roof will tend to sort of disappear into each other. This one here is fine because there's a big gap between that line and this line. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit there. So bring that across there, like that. Still got that line here, but I'm going to bring this one in. Then I'm just going to bring some of that in here. Then I'm going to take a tiny little bit of more of a darkish blue, and just sort of very softly just run a little bit over the top here. Very softly, don't put too much on, otherwise your sky is going to get too dark. Put that down there so that we know what I'm doing is I'm keeping all these ones separate here, so that later on I'll make a little chart of all the colors that we've been using. So now I'm going to just take my finger and I'm going to, in circular motion, just come along and work that in. And this time I'm not using the back of the watercolor paper, I'm using the front, so it's a little bit more rougher and gives you some nice texture. And I think here I was going to take a bit of a hard brush and I'm just going to get this lines away, so I'm going to just work that in with a brush. Also in a circular motion. And I'll leave this piece here a little bit lighter for some clouds. Just work that in right up against the line. So when you take the tape off, you have a nice evens and a straight line. And bring it up to the line. Just work those out. Bring this against this. Because normally in your sky, the top end is a little bit darker than the horizon. As you come towards the horizon, it gets lighter. So that's what I'm doing here. Here I'm just going to bring that in. We're going to put some other color over the top of that one. Right, let's just bring that in. Right, now I'm going to take some white chalk, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to work some of that chalk in here up against that darker line. Now this, oops, all right, got a bit of a contamination there, but anyway, it gives you a nice little, fortunately, a color that sort of works in the other. But this one, these pastels are semi-hard, So the white doesn't come off so nicely. So what I've done is I've actually got a much softer white that I've brought with me here, and you can see straight away how that white, can you see there? Straight away, this is a very soft type. So you can bring some of the clouds up into there like that and just give that a bit of a, and maybe put a cloud here. I don't want to go into too much detail. I just wanted to get some sort of interest in the sky going across there. Then I can come and really put some edging to the sky. Light's coming from this side, so the highlights more on this side here. Just tap it with my finger just to tap that very loose dust into the painting. Okay, so that's good enough there at the moment. So now I'm going to start with the mountain, and that's like a very light bluey purple. So I'm going to take this blue again, and I'm going to put a bit of blue in here. A little bit in here. Give it a bit of a rub. Just very lightly at this stage. Going to come with another color over the top. And I'm going to take a bit of a little touch of this brown, very light brown. You can see it's very light. Just be careful, you don't get too dark, heavy a line. You move that in, so slowly, and that gives you almost like a brown, greeny color. Bring it up into there. And then I'm going to take a little touch of red in there, very light. A little touch of a slightly darker blue. And then I'm going to blend that together. I'm going to put some more blue into that. So I'm slowly building up the color. So I'll take a bit more of this blue into that red, and that starts giving me now that purpley color, but a little bit more warmer. We've got that early morning sun. So I've got these mixtures of these colors, and if necessary I can come in and add a bit of white into that. I mean, this one's a little bit on the dark side, so let's put a little touch of white in. And building up that edge. So I'm slowly getting the mountain color. doesn't matter if you go over this edge just slightly, because we're going to be coming back and over that one, so you get that nice overlap. You need an overlap to be able to show the one is behind the other one. This one here, see, I've gone up a bit too high there again. But let's just bring a bit of more of this blue in here, some white, and bring that sky down again. I've got the mountain a bit lower down. Yeah, that's part of the roof. Turn it. Take a bit of this blue across here. And it blends nicely in with the reddish color underneath. And gives you that mountain. A bit more. Now I'm going to come with a stump, and I'm going to just, oops, a bit of red onto there. Doesn't matter, we've got red in here. And I'm just going to work that edge a little bit. Right, now I'm going to come with it's almost like a Naples yellow type, and I'm going to start just putting some little sunshine marks here on the ridges. You don't have to do it any specific, just a few little marks in the background. You can see how that sunshine is coming up in there. It puts a few, not all in the same, like little soldiers in a row. Then I'm going to take the bottom edge of this one and fade that one in, and just leave the top edge a bit more sharper. So we got that mountain there. We got just a few here. That's going to sort of disappear anyway amongst a lot of those the leaves that we're going to have there. I'm going to bring a little bit of this color down into here a bit. Warm that up. Just bring some of that in here. You got that other little hillock coming in. That's a bit on the yellow side. So I'm going to take some yellow. Just a little bit inside in there. Bring some down. A bit of blue into that, down the bottom here. Sort of grey it down, and maybe that's part, pretend that's part of the lake haze that's reflecting. Let's keep that line across there like that, and that's reflecting the hill, so we'll have a few little lines coming down. A little touch of very light green, the sunshine here. It's also hitting a few little bridges, got some trees, etc. I want detail, it's got to be soft, no sharp detail. Detail is going to be all here in the house. If you make your background too detailed, then you take the viewer's eye away from where it should be. So there's a few little blue tinges inside. Maybe a tiny little touch of an orangey, like a yellow ochre actually, sort of in across there. So we've got some of that warmth coming in down the bottom here. Bring that over that pencil line. Okay. Now let's put that down. And now we're going to, I'm going to put some background in this area here. So we bring the house into a negative, and I'm going to take a bit of the brown that I've got in there, flat and very lightly. I'm going to bring some of this in this area here. I want this, the roughness a bit later on. I want the roughness of this the paper to give me the effect of some leaves. I'm going to put some of that in. Some leaves are coming out here. And there's some, I see a little touch of yellow also in yellowy green, so there's some yellow. I'm going to put a little touch of yellow in here. Bring it up to that corner. Very light. I'm doing that first, and then I'm going to take a little touch of like a bit of an orangey color as well, but not right up in the top, into this area here to keep this warm a bit, mixed with all that. And I'm going to take a bit of green, stronger green in here, closer to the sunlight side. Now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to lightly blend that in. I'm not going to blend it too much at this stage. See, that's going to come in into there. And we're starting to get some of the in the back. You can slowly darken it up, especially down the bottom end here. I'm going to take a bit more of the brown, darken up this area, sort of here in between there where those posts are, and in this area. I don't want to go over the post. It's keep that area a little bit on the light side. Don't worry about losing the tree too much. I've got the places there. Yeah, I'm going to make this area a little bit darker here, where it comes up against the lighter roof. And you've got the sun coming from this side and the shadow coming onto this side here. So will be much darker here. We got that nice contrast, so you can see I'm sort of in between there, going over slightly, but there's still that lighter area. Let me just bring that in. A few little patches. this is going to be a little bit darker. Now I'm going to take a very, very dark brown and come in into this area there against the side of the roof. Work it up that way. I'm still using these flat. You got some of the shade up this end, so it's not all just slowly, slowly you work up the things. See, if you're working with pastel pencils, you find that if you had to start doing all these bigger areas, the pencil itself is very sharp, and you tend to get lines in, almost like the edge of that blue that just came in the sky there. A few of those little darker ridges. Fortunately, that can still go part as some of the clouds in the sky, that you have those, but you can't get these nice smooth areas where you can get them without lines. And also, pencil is a bit more expensive. You're paying for the wood, and if you want to use for big areas, pencil is nice for smaller areas. I'm not going to use pencil today, just to show you what we can do without a pencil. And later in the series, we'll start using some pencils. Then we can tighten it up and get into more detail than I'm doing now. This is the first one that we're doing now as far as landscape's concerned, and I don't want to get into too much detail. I want you to get into the feel of being able to handle and get the feel of what's happening with these, and get the impression more than an actual like a photographic thing. So you can see it slowly building up. Other colors will come over the top of that one. At the moment, what I'm doing is I'm working it into the paper, so that when I come with softer over the top, you're not soft over soft. If you've got a soft one, you want to put soft over the top, you're moving the underlayer soft. Where here you got your harder pastels are the ones that come in and adhere to the actual paper. Then you come with your softer ones, will be adhering over the top of this again. So in other words, this is not going to be moving at all. You can even see, it even takes some time here to blend it together with your fingers. So I'm going to take some of that little touch in my finger, and also just bring a little touch of that same color out onto this side here. There we go. Into this little area here, just down the bottom. So it's balancing out. This is much further away and softer than what I've got here. So I can always pick up a bit of that, you see, and just bring some of that into there. Later on, we'll come along and we'll put some more highlights in, but not at this stage. We first want to work up all the colors. So now I'm gonna start with we'll come back to that and come here. What I want to do is I'm busy working this so it's in negative, so that when we do the house, we have the shape coming in and getting the thing, so we don't have a lot of white disturbing us around. So I think what I do, let me just put an initial layer of the yellow in here, so that the house starts to stand out better. So I'm going to take some of this yellow, and I'm just going to just do that. Just put it, just to get some of that white away. And we have a little touch of green. I'm going to do it this way, taking it this lengthwise, this way and in there. So I'm just going to put a few little stripes at this stage. That's it. Then I'm just going to do a quick blend. It's not a final, it's just to get that white of the paper away. In other words, I'm doing blocking. I'm blocking in the shapes. So let's do that. There you are. So now we're getting a feel of the house. Okay. So I just there wasn't much on there, but I'm just going to take it off. Any dust that is on here falls down onto that little catcher that I showed you last week. So now I'm going to take a little touch of the brown, and I'm going to bring in the dark side of the house, just softly. Take this one here. Very lightly, just bring that in. You're going to be putting other colors over this. As I'm working with a layering technique here. So I'm just going to very lightly just smooth that in a little bit. I don't want to get too much of the texture of the paper away from here, because that gives me that texture almost of the brickwork or the stonework in here. So you need to let the texture work for you. Don't always try and fill in. Other places you can fill it in, but same thing with oils. Sometimes you need the texture of the canvas also to show you. Watercolors, you can do exactly the same as well too. You use the rough paper, the texture to give you impression of whatever you want to show. So here, I'm going to take a little touch of this. Little touch of blue into that, grey it down a little bit now. I'm just putting that flat.
Patricia's asking, do pastels get old?
No. No, the pastels won't get old. I've never heard of pastels getting old. I mean, I've got pastels here that I've had for a long, long time. And the pigment itself doesn't get old. I mean, you've got paintings that the old masters have done hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and they themselves are okay. You just got to watch out that you don't get them into strong ultraviolet light. That's ultraviolet. They're the ones that kills. Actually, ultraviolet kills virtually anything. It burns them away. Don't worry about that little window can be added in later, no problem at all. So there I've got that brown. See, now I've got that nice little grey colour, but I'm still going to warm it up a bit later on. So I'm going to forget about those little windows, and I'll add them in separately. Much easier. So let's bring that in. So I'm doing it horizontally here. Any stripes gives you the effect of the brick layers, or the stone layers. That's coming up, so now we need to, I'm going to warm that up a little bit, and I'm going to take a little bit of some orange, and I'm going to put just a little layer over the top of that one. Just give you that warmth, that morning glow coming over into there. In other words, we're taking that grey painting, the grey photograph, and adding some morning glow into it. In other words, bringing some color. Don't forget, you are the artist. You are the one that's doing this. You're putting your own impression into it, your own feeling into it, and you make it your own. So now I'm going to put a little touch of red over that again. See how we slowly, if you look at this one, the brown is showing through, and some of the blue where I've graded down, and now this orangey that's on there turns sort of almost like a yellowy color. Now I'm going to put a very light layer of red into there, just a fraction, hardly any touching, and then that really gives it a nice, real warm color now. Get that in there. Okay, now I'm just going to sharpen up this little edge here. I've gone over it a bit too much. So there's this white. I'm going to just take some of that white here. Sharpen that edge, and I'm just going to do that. Touch it very softly. Okay. This one here is going to go darker anyway, so that other is going to be darker. Right, while we're doing that, I'm going to now take some yellow, and we have that creeper that's up this area, so I'm going to just take some yellow in there. Not too much. I'm going to take some green. A little bit bright for just touch it into that ever so slightly. The top end, I'm going to get some of the darker green. Just touching, I'm not rubbing, just tapping it in. Get you that into the paper. Now I'm going to take the dark green. Where's my dark green? Here's my dark green here. And I'm going to then come up against the edge of that roof. Down in there. carefully just give it a little bit of very slight rub. And I'm going to get some of the brown, and I'm going into that to darken the green a little bit further. Because here you can get pastel sets with very dark greens, grey greens, and that like I've got in my big set, but I'm using a little set here, and I'm just showing you how we can put colours in, and you darken them up. Just touch that a bit. Darken. I just want to get those little white spots out, and just work them in a little bit. Touch that in. Then I can use the stump. I've got one with a smaller point on here, and I'm just going to work that. Just touch that in. There. Got some lighter colour on it. Just working that in there. Okay, so we've got that, and I'm just going to use some of the lighter green into this area. This little, maybe the sun is just sort of catching just over the top of this one. Let's put a little branch that's sticking out there. Touches, so you don't have just too much of a straight line. It'll go down. Some right at the top here, I'm going to put a little touch of nice yellow. That's all I'm going to do there. Now I'm going to take this very dark brown, and I'm going to start putting in some of the windows here. Let's take that in here. Put that down the side here. And this is the door. I'm going to bring that down. So now I've got the door. Let's be careful, you don't go too much over the edge. Then when I've got the smaller one, I'll just take a tiny brush or the stump and just work that in very softly. Taking it off rather. Let me just rather leave that and just push that in. I'm going to take a little touch of the light blue. There, where's my blue gone to now? Where's my light blue? Did I put it? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. And then I'm going to put next to that one for like a window. And some blue into this one here. And into that one. We'll tidy it up a bit later on. First get the main impressions in before we start doing the thing. So here I'm going to use the edge of this blue into the brown and just softly just grey that piece down so we have the light shining and giving you the opening of the door. So
Susan says it looks like a surprised face.
Like a surprise?
Face. The windows are the eyes and the door's the mouth.
Oh, I see, yeah. Look, all looking this side. Okay, put a nose in here. Yeah, it's good to have a good imagination. I often use mine a lot as well too. Okay, now I'm going to take the dark brown and I'm going to put this barge boarding in here now, right up into there. Got the shadow, that overhang. Got this one here too. You can see it coming up. Later on in the year will be bigger paintings where we can start adding more detail into it than the smaller ones. And of course we'll also start coming in with the pencils. And let's bring that one down here. Put this one coming down here. Not as heavy as the other one, so let's just do that down. And then I'm just gonna push this in. In other words, that brush is too hard. Finger, nothing like the finger. There you go. There's a bit of a shadow coming in there too. Right, now we need to, and I'm going, I've got like a pinky color chalk here, so let's give that nice warmth on the roof. Let's bring that across here. And I'm pulling it all in the line on the roof in case any lines that come up will come in with the slope of the roof, which then can act as if it's part of the sheeting. In other words, that the roof is made up of. Let's put that in there. Take this one. I forget we got this little. I just forgot the name now. The piece that sticks out. Maybe somebody can remind me of it. This little piece here. The exact name again. It goes into there. That comes down here, and then it flows into a sideways movement there. There we go, we're slowly blocking in and getting the house. Right, now we also need to add some a bit of a glow on the front here. So I'm going to start off with a bit of orange.
Stephen says it's a gable.
It's yeah, the gable is also this, which is also this one here. It's
Susan says it's a dormer.
That's it. That's what I'm after, the dormer. Gable is actually this top here. We have the like the old Dutch ones where they have this front part here comes out into, you know, that loop, the gable, that type of stuff. This is the dormer. They call it dormitory. That's the dormer, the one that sticks out. That's it. Thank you. Now you can have a bit of the sunshine on this side. Yeah, there's from the corner of the house. That will go into there. Any questions so far? Everybody enjoying it?
Dal says, when laying on the other colors, I'm having a hard time getting the colors to blend at the edges. Do I need to add more pastel at the edges?
Well, if you look at close-up of mine at the moment, yeah, the edges are not anywhere as sharp as in the photograph. The simple reason for that is the bigger the painting that you do, you can get a much sharper edge. And of course, I'm using rough paper for today. If I was using Canson, for argument's sake, it's much less texture. And when you got a lot of texture, now the roughness, I'm not talking about the tooth now. The tooth is part, can be in the texture, or you can have texture also with no tooth. Depends on the actual surface itself. And I explained that in the techniques one. But then it is much easier to get a much sharper and cleaner than what I've got here. Remember, this is just the first one for beginners. I'm not too worried about having absolute sharp photographic in here. I want you to get the feel of it so that you're not too worried about getting it absolutely. If it doesn't look like a photograph, I'm not worried at all. The thing is here, I want you to get used to the techniques, so that when you got the techniques, and later on when we come, I'll be using much more smoother paper, and then you'll find that all what I'm putting in here will also become a bit more sharper and a bit more detailed. But often you don't want a painting or a drawing that is absolutely like a photograph. You want to have some emotion in it, and the texture actually gives you some emotion. A lot of people, they don't want to buy stuff that looks photographic. They want stuff that they can see that it's been done by a human hand and not by a photographic process. And some people, the rougher it is, the more they like it. So in other words, even like this is very rough. A lot of them will like this one because they get to feel now that it has been done by somebody and it's not been printed. So, you know, each one has got their own idea and their own opinion of what a what a painting should be. So we have to respect that. You know, what is good for the goose is not good for the gander. Some people, you know, Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean. But between them, two of them, they licked the platter clean. So we're still artists, and each one likes the fat and the other one likes the lean. So this is the fat, and the lean is those that's got hardly anything on it and it's sharp and everything. So, take your pick. Right, now I'm going to take a little bit of purple. A little bit of purple here in the shadow. got that post. We'll put the post in later. Right. So I'm going to take then a little bit of some blue into that. So you can see it's starting to go like a purpley sheen. It's going to be much darker. I'm just sort of building up some of that. I'm going to bring this down a bit further. I'm going to take some brown into that, over the top of that. So that purple is dark, but the purple sheen, which is part of the shadow color, will show up through there. So let's darken that up. Some real dark underneath, straightly underneath there. Okay. But right underneath, this is an overhang that comes over. It's like a veranda stoop that goes across. So there we're going to make it very, very much darker. So I'm going to take the dark brown and I'm going to really darken up this little area here. Not in here. A lot of light still coming through, so you've got shadow, but the deeper shadow is more there and against this edge. So I want to carefully just bring that down and there. And just blend that together, so you have that gradient. You see, like a gradient, is but really darker underneath here. Now I'm going to use some black for the very first time, and black, be careful of using too much black. Black kills. If black, you'll only use it in a color to darken a color slightly. So you're going to put a little bit of black in here. So in the end, there's not going to be pure black. All I've done is going to darken the color in there. Give it a very light little rub in there, really darken that area up. Just a little touch in there as well. Okay. Right. And then right underneath these ones here, where am I now? Okay. In here, I'm going to just put a little black line there along the edge. That's right where it hits the wall, that piece. Down into there. A little touch, very lightly down here, and a little touch down here. Just that little edge, not much. And here it's going to be that. Let's go to the dormer. I'm going to take some, right. Before I do that, let's finish the roof, and I'm going to take a little touch of green. Let's say there's a bit of moss or something on the roof, so let's put a little touch in there, right? Let's put a little touch here. Oops. Just clean my finger. I don't want that dark to come into here again. Just wipe it. I'm just going to very lightly touch that there. And a little touch in here. Okay. Little touch of yellow. Very lightly, just give you, I'm hardly putting the yellow in, it's just just a hint. Just a hint. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Notice I'm just going to edge off that. Across here. And this little pinky color, I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that here on the ridge. Across here. And for the ridge capping. And I'm going to take a light brown and very lightly sort of jump across and don't hit not one little line. I'm using this just to get a nice little sharp edge. Here's a nice little sharp edge on here, and I'm going to pick it up at the angle, and I'm just going to very lightly sort of give a slight little touch to the top. So you can put an outline to a painting. Very gentle in certain places, and your eye will, your brain will accept it, as long as it's not done overdone. It comes into there, and a few little darker patches. So we're putting in there, touch top of the roof. This one here. Sharpen that one up a bit there. Bring that down a little bit. This one here, I'm going to put a little line here. Very faint, very faint. Just so it gives you the dividing. The eye will pick that one up. Then I'm going to very lightly just add a few little lines down like that, not without trying to get them as one solid line all the way down. So hold that in the corner and just going to, you got these little sheets coming down. Just a hint. Nothing more than that. Put a little line across there, one across here. And now we can come in here with this and bring that one. In the shadow. Coming down there. And then we got very dark brown. I'll bring that one, get a nice little corner here, and bring that in here. One down there. Take some of this, put this in here, a little pinky color. I'm just giving the impression here, not going into put every little detail in. I'll come back, work in that one. So, right, we need some in here as well. And a little touch of light blue over that. Almost like a, this one here, I know it's got a darker wooden thing inside, but let's change that a little bit. We make that one almost like a window coming in there. Put a bit of a darker blue at the top. Oops. Give you a bit of a shadow and a hint there. And we have the thickness of the wall on this side. So we're going to take that, bring that down here. Then I'm going to use the dark brown. Coming back to onto the top here, I'm going to put over there's a shadow underneath the window. We're looking upwards to it, so you've got that shadow underneath to give you that. And then here too, you've got some shadow across here. Let me make it a little bit darker, a little hint down here. And then we've got the barge board that's coming here, the guttering, so let's bring that across. And I'll take some lighter color, just work that in a bit there. Take this lighter color. You can see how it's sharpening up the edges. Here we got the one post coming down. We've got, let's add another little post off the edge of the one coming down here. Oops, but too thick. We've got another one coming down here. I can just thin that down a little bit. Put a bit of a shadow down the side. Darker, a little bit darker one down the side. So we've got those posts showing up. And we also got quite a bit of a dark piece here. We also got some lintels. Let's add some lintels in. Those are a bit darker, but let's add a lighter one, a different color. So I'm going to put a lintel across the top here, another one there, and I'm going to put one over here. There. Then very, very lightly, I'm just going to, let's get a nice sharp corner here. And put just a light line down there. Gives you a window. Those other ones are fine. Get that little piece here. Let me just tap that piece, that dark piece away. There we go. Just touch. Oops, a bit too dark. Get a lighter one here, just to. Okay, so let's take this other, like I did here, and I'm very lightly just going to run that over there, and that smooths it down a bit more than what it was. That's dark. This one's going to be a bit lighter. there. We need some darker here. We got some shadow. A real nice dark shadow in this area. And going across this edge of this wall. Very much lighter. Bring that across. Take some darker brown here. Bring that in. So we can at least see the edge of that wall across over there. Okay. So we need to now start sharpening up this area here. So I've got my very dark brown. I'm going to sharpen up this edge here. To make that roof stand out a bit better there. A nice dark shadow. Let's put a few more little I'm going to take some little bit of purple in here. Give it that nice little glow inside. That nice little warm glow. Right, let's see. Any questions so far? And finally looked up, I don't get the color choices. Yeah, I'm using the smaller little set here just to show that there's a reasonable amount, but it's not the full choice. If you really want a nice full choice, obviously you have to get a very big set. We have all the different tints and stuff, but you don't need to do that unless you're really going professional. Okay, so, right. Before I go down to the bottom end here, I just want to check this line here. The edge of this building, sharpen it up a little bit here. There we go, so that's down there. All right, let's see what we do right now. I'm going to take some, also the brown, and I'm now going to start adding some of the trees in. So let's put that in, starting nicely from there, and just very lightly using the edge and sort of a touch and go type. You don't want to sort of overdo all these things. So let's take another one coming out the side here. Then we'll go past through into there. Just a sort of hint, and all these little, tiny little twigs and stuff. So we've got some there. Let's put another one, let's say, coming out here. right. I'm hardly sort of touching. A lot of these ones you don't have to actually make sure that they actually join completely, because sometimes you have highlights on the branch, and it tends to disappear a bit. Then you see it as like a fence. You've got strands of steel wire and stuff. You'll see sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. It just depends on where the glint is. And another one here out the side. And let that one sort of just tip over the edge. See, there's, just get a little vertical in here. There's a little pipe that sticks out there, so let's put that in. I'm using the black. Put that in there, there we go. Little vent pipe, just to make it look different. Then I'm going to take some little touch of the orange, and then just in little places, just put just a little hint. Don't overdo it, just here and there. And these are all leafless. It's winter time, so let's get. I've got another brown here. So right, let's take the darker. I'm going to take black, and I'm going to start this tree. Let me just bring some of this down here a bit. Right. Now there's a whole lot of little trees that sort of go in between here. Right, let's do this tree first. I'm going up here. Then I'm going to get a bit thinner. It's going to come up. And get another nice little branch that's bringing you into the paint, the eye into the picture. That's all the black that I'm going to do here. Then I'm going to take some brown and go into that black. In other words, I'm making it into a dark brown instead of black. A really dark brown, which I don't have in the set. So I make it a very dark brown. And then you're going to have some more branches coming out. This time there's bigger and more stronger than the other. So we're going right out the top. Then you've got these little ones get less and less. I'm not trying to follow the exact ones there in the picture, in the photograph. Right, I'm going to take some of those darker ones. I'm also going to put some other a lot of other little trees. This little group coming, put them in little groups. There's a little group here, there's another little group here. Don't try and get them all evenly spread. There's a little here. Take a little touches of the black here. You could just get some deep shade ones in here. Not too much, just a little bit. and little hints of branches, just very lightly. And I'm coming in with the lighter, and we just give that a bit of a clean on the wet rag, clean it up a bit. There we go. Then I'm going to add a few lighter ones in here. The sun is also catching a few of them. Okay, now let's get into this area. I'm going to bring that right up to here. But the brighter colors will come over just a short whilst time. Just getting the background, bring that in to the edges. That in here to the edges. See some of the other darker colors from my fingers are coming in here, but that's nice. I'm giving that, there's a lot of shadows in this area, so we're going to work up on that. We're going to work that into here. Got those little rocks, just work that. So now I'm pressing really hard and bringing these shadows up, or the bright lights rather, let's put it that way, where the sun's hitting. Right across here too. I can bring some white into that. Very lightly. This is that soft white. Then I can come in with the yellow into that white. Very lightly into there. But we have a little bit of a log as well too in this area, so let's put a bit of a log here. There's something that's sticking out here. It's got a highlight on the top of it. And inside here too, I've got this on, you've got all sorts of stuff sticking down on the side there. Takes a dark brown. You got some of this other pinky highlight. Sun is catching on some of these things. Yeah, not trying to make it into something special, just to show that there is something in that area. And we need to put the shadow of the tree. I'm going to take a little bit of this mauve, and I'm going to bring some of this mauve down in here. Put a bit of blue into it. And blue, see how nice it made some of the spot green. So let's put a touch of this blue across here on the top. And we have some nice, brings it into nice green. Look at that. Here's the blue over the yellow, and you've got a green color. So let's take even a darker blue here over that. And you get some nice deeper shade. Let's try that. That nice early morning green coming across. So let's put a bit more. Let's see this, the tree. He's throwing some more across here. There's other trees along the side here as well too. That's also coming in with some shadow. And here I want to darken this corner a bit. It's not in the photograph, but I want to do that so that your eye is pushed up into the brighter area and doesn't stay here in a we're caught here by any bright that's in here. So let's do that. Take some more of this yellow, and I'm going to really punch up some of the areas. I want to darken this little corner here. There's a little bit of a light spot. I know that was where the lake is, but I want to get rid of that area there. Bring some of that shadow coming in, and there's a bush or whatever it is behind.
Why are you getting rid of that area there now?
No, I'm not getting rid of it. Just the bottom end. It brings, you see, at the moment, if you stand too far away, this here tends to blend in, and I'm using this for contrast. In there, there's something behind the house. By doing that, this corner shows up nicely. The area of one big light spot was a bit too big, and your eye, what happens is your eye tends to go to a light spot somewhere where it shouldn't be. The light spot should be all in your focus point. So I'm going to leave that like that, just that little piece. I don't want to sort of, let me just put a little touch of the edge of the lake, just that little piece in there, some vegetation there. So it's not too white, but there's enough there. And it's all in the shadow, so let me take a very dark green and maybe just add a little bit of green there to it. There we go. Lighten up this little corner a bit here. There you go. Right, so I still need lots more little twigs and stuff inside here. So this time I'm going to use a lighter brown. As they go further away, you get lighter colors. So here I'm going to take gentle. There's a lot of fine little twigs. I don't want these branches to look like as if they're broken off and just left there with nothing on them. They must have a lot of little twigs and branches coming out. These ones have no leaves. They lost all their there's summer leaves. Put a bit more into here. Put that little piece on there also makes it look nice, brings your eye into the picture. So, got that nice little warm glow coming up on here. Actually, put a little touch of a orange, just a hint in that area, there like that. The hint of a light blue. Where's my light blue? Just a little bit of a grey it down. Give it there. Right, now we need to add some sunshine on this coming through. We need to pick up the edges of these, bit of a glow. Here and there. And that bit of a darker brown here, so bringing that into the grass. You get some. There we go. That looks better. And I need to just darken up the shadow here, right by the tree. It is much darker, and then it fades away as it goes along. And here we have a little bit of that shadow up it very lightly. Just some of this brown, give you that effect as if that's the tree throwing its shadow there. Okay, I think what we need to do, just need to these posts, I want to sharpen them up a little bit here. There you go. Yeah, I think that's enough. Now we need to put the rocks in. Let's see, is there any other questions so far? Oh yes, I need to touch a little bit here. That's not finished. So we need to put that piece here, head down. And then we have the shadows, also part of this, other trees and stuff around here, throwing shadows on. So it's take a little touch of your blue almost and just hardly touch. Just that. All along this edge here, the little touches of the, very softly. And also not one big patch. A few little up here, and you've also got this. Here's a bit of a shadow here. Right, let's go to the rocks. This time I'm going to take a. Where's my picture? Okay, I'm going to get it sort of more or less. I'm going to darken it here. I'm just going to put a few little, my own little marks here. Right, let's make this one a bit bigger. Across there. And I'm not going to go more than that. Okay. Let's give that a bit of a press into the, take some of this pink, again, just clean, wipe it on the wet rag, and come along, and then I'm going to add some sunshine on the top of those. Touches of orange. I'm going to put another little one here by itself. Take the dark brown. Put some brown into that. I think that's very, a little touch of blue in here. Lighten some part of it up a little bit. What else is there?
Are you going to add any of the stone texture into the building?
I can. You're not going to. Yeah, if you do, let's do that. We have a bit of time. You put it in. You've got to only add a few bits in here and there, just to give the hint that they are. You're not going to go along and try and put every single one in. Okay, so let's see. Some of these ones we've got. Let's take a little touches of the blue, because you've got that grey thing. You can here and there. You can sort of do that type of thing, where you're in sort of here, only here and there, but not very small. Don't. And a few. I'll bring a few other little colours in that you're not going to put a lot in. And we have a bit of a more darker colour, so but it's not black. So this is almost like a very dark ochre type, almost like burnt sienna. Add a few little in between that lot. It just gives you that. It's not showing up too nice, so let me get a bit of a darker. And very in amongst that lot there. I'm doing this very, very lightly. Just in selected little areas. It sort of gives you the impression of some of these. A bit more of this light blue in. Gives you, it brings up some of the grey also when you're doing a brick house, you're not going to draw all the bricks in. You just draw a few in. What happens, your brain tells you that the rest has got bricks in it. All the rest, the whole thing. I think that should do it. What else can you think, Nolan? Right, you can notice I've not even used any fixative as yet. I've done this whole lot without fixative, and when I'm happy with it, then I can come along and put a fixative on. I do that before I take the tape off, just in case the fixative blows a little bit of dust onto the side and fixes it out into that nice little area which you're going to use. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to do something else here. Just want to, along the edge of the lake, you usually have some more of the bushes and stuff, so let me just put a bit of the, take a bit of yellow here and add some sunshine here on the top. I think that's it. Right, now what I do for signing, what I've got today, I brought myself a little, let me just clean my hands. I mean, I've very little actually pastels, dust on my fingers. I can count the number of little dots of dust that's come off of this onto the table, which is just about nothing. There's probably about 50 little dots there. But I've got myself a pen, which is a Unipen fine line. It's water and fade proof. Waterproof. It's pigment ink, and I use this one for sketching and stuff. So let's put it up here, then you can, yeah, I just want to turn it around that they can see. There we go. Okay, right. So then I'm going to sign my name with it here. A bit awkward with this. Let me just pick with this catcher. Let me just take this little catcher carefully away. And there's all my dust. It's not flying around. It's all nicely caught here. There's nothing in the air at all. So let me put that aside carefully. There we go. And I just want to bring this down a bit here. For some reason it was. It doesn't want to play up today. There you go. Now, I'm going to put spray this on. I've been so busy here, I haven't even had to finish my coffee. Yeah, I know. One of my throat's dry. Right, now, fixative. Normally do this outside, but let me just get to the side and so it blows out that way. You'll notice it'll darken it up slightly. Okay, I haven't gone through there, I've just gone from the side here. Okay, let's get that out the side. Now to get my hairdryer. Oh, it's not plugged in. It's plugged in but not switched on. Now let's get to switch it on for me quickly. There we go. Get the noise down. There we go. It's any questions I need to answer at the moment? Everybody happy? Okay. So it's come up right on the time. And let me just put my other specs on. Now I can bring that up into there so you can see it in proper perspective, although that camera was not that far off. There we go. And you can see now where we've changed the color, and that's not too bad if you look at it. And you have a nice painting where your edges are not 100% sharp, but it doesn't have to be sharp. It's just the painting. Once that, you put that into a frame and you look at it at your proper viewing distance, then you'll get the proper effect of it. So any questions, put it on the forum. I'd like to see some of these on the forum. Have a look, and I'm sure there's going to be some very nice ones on waiting for me. Last time, the previous one, I see it was up even before I'd even left the studio here to go home. Oh, nice. I like to see that. Very nice. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the day. If it's daytime at your place, if it's snoozing time, have a nice big snooze, have a good rest so that you can wake up in the morning and carry on with your pastels. So from Nolan and myself, from a nice sunny day here in New Zealand at the moment, we say God bless, ciao for now.